Hey guys, it's Jason from Paul Davis Restoration. Today I want to talk about the state of the industry. Uh, Basically, what's going on and how to provide the best service for your customers the most ethical way available. First thing I want to say is we are in a service industry. What that means is we are service providers. Our customers need emergency services due to a catastrophic event, whether it's a fire, whether it's a mold job, a water job, whatever it may be. As restoration contractors, we have seen the worst of the worst. The homeowner may not have. In fact, I can almost guarantee that they haven't seen what we've seen. But in their eyes, what they're going through is heartbreaking. All right. It's a tremendous burden, and they've never encountered anything like this before. And we need to show patience and understanding. Your average person has no idea what it's involved in drying out a wet home, how to mitigate a fire job, how to do mold remediation. They have no idea. They don't know where to start, where the middle ground is, or where to end. It's our job as professionals to take our time, explain the process, explain the entire process, what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, why we're doing it, what the finished result is going to be. You have to assure them that you're on your side, that you're a professional. We are trained in skilled labor. We're here to help, and we are going to be their advocates till the end of this project. We'll let them know, no matter what they're going through, they're going to be okay. We're going to bring that home back to how it was pre-loss condition, and we're going to do it the quickest, most efficient, and most reasonable way that we can. Let them know we're there for them. All right. One of the biggest things that we need to take into account as restoration contractors is respect. Have respect for your customer's home. Have respect for their property. Have respect for their beliefs, whatever it may be. All right. We're not there to judge. We're not there to laugh at their artwork or their religious beliefs, their political beliefs, their recreational activities, whatever it is. All right? How they decorate, how they live their lives. It's not our job to judge. We need to be compassionate and understanding. And listen, some people like red carpet, some people like blue carpet. It doesn't make any difference to us. We're there to help them. We don't judge. And make sure that, you don't speak a different language than what your homeowner speaks and talk negatively about them, because you just don't know what people understand. All right? If you walk into a home and you start speaking Spanish to your coworkers and you're making comments that are unfavorable, you don't know what this person's background is. They could be fluent in Spanish. And now everything you're saying, they hear, and it just doesn't look good. The other thing is, make sure your techs don't get excited. You don't want to have these guys screaming out, "Hey, come here, look at this, get a picture of this. Oh my God, look at how wet this is." It doesn't help. It adds stress to the homeowner. If there's something that needs attention of your supervisor or of your lead tech, quietly go over, usher him aside, let him get a look at it, let him convey what has to be conveyed to the homeowner. There's no need for multiple parties to start talking, to confusing people, and ultimately making matters worse. The other important thing is when you're in someone's home, respect their privacy. There's no reason to open up shelves, look in closets, to wander around unaffected rooms. If we're in a home and that home is, we're focusing on a living room and a dining room, there's no reason for me to be in a bedroom. There's no reason to have my guys walk around a kitchen. They shouldn't be on the second floor. You're there for a reason. Be there for that reason. Don't give anyone any reason to think that you're not above board in anything you're doing. And again, it's about respect. All right? That's all there is to it. Be respectful. When you're on a remediation job, take a look at your surroundings. Right? Too many people think, oh, this is a high-end home. We could bill more. They have a tier A insurance company. We could bill more. We can add more onto it. That's not how it works. All right. When you go to a doctor, they don't ask you what your net income is before they give you a bill. They're billing you for the service that they're rendering. Restoration is no different. You live in a $9 million home, you live in a $200,000 home. The cost to remove drywall per square foot is the same cost. We have no right to make this job bigger because these people appear to have more money or better off than we are or better off than others are. Doesn't matter what car they drive. It doesn't matter what jewelry they have. You're there as a professional. Be professional. All right? That should always be in the back of your mind is, I'm a professional. I'm here because they trust me. And you have to earn that trust. All right? We live by a certain motto, and it's just because you can doesn't mean you should. And let me break that down for you. The IICRC S500 states that you can put an air mover every 10 to 16 linear feet of water damaged content. Does that mean you should? No. It doesn't mean you have to? Absolutely not. If I can get away with drying a room with 4 air movers and 1 DU, as opposed to putting in 8 air movers and an extra large DU, that's going to be questioned. That's going to come back to me. Even though the guideline states I'm within the right parameters, why am I doing it? So I can pad the bill? Well, some people out there think I'm foolish because I don't pad bills. What I do get is a lot of recommendations, a lot of referrals, and a lot of repeat business. Because in today's day and age, money matters. So be mindful of that. There is no one restoration job that you're retiring off of. There's no one mold job, one fire job. No matter how big you think it may be, that's going to change your life. On the flip side, it will change your homeowner's life, your customer's life. Be responsible. Be honest. Don't overbill. Don't pad estimates. And don't overscope jobs. All right? Know the insurance company that your homeowner has, that your customer is dealing with. Some companies are rougher than others. Some are more lenient than others. Does that mean that if you have a high-end insurance company, you can come in and overscope that job or double your price? Absolutely not. In today's market, insurance companies are relying more and more on either re-inspectors or third-party companies that will come in and they will go over and scrutinize your estimate. And you need to be on par and on point with everything you're doing. All right? If you're over scoping, it's borderline insurance fraud. You're stealing money from your insurance, from the insurance company. You're stealing money from your customer. Grow up. Learn to live with what you're responsible for. All right? Don't make everything a massive job. Don't freak people out. Go in there honestly. Go in there with integrity. All right? Document everything you have. Document your dry logs. You should have irrefutable proof why it's taking you 2, 3, 4, or 5 days to dry out certain situations. All right? Know your moisture readings. Know what your EMC is. Know what your envelope of your house is. What's going to affect the drying process. When we get certified, these the premises that we're taught on, and flood houses and all of these examples, they're regulated environments. All right? When we go into a flood house for training, we set the HVAC. We open and close windows. We place equipment. We know it's not being touched. When we go into someone's home and set equipment, I don't know what they're doing when I leave. My equipment throws off heat. Are they opening windows? Are they bumping up their air conditioning? Are they shutting off my equipment at night? Well, we need to know these things. And we track these things by the numbers. Don't make up your dry logs. Don't fabricate readings. Know what your readings are. Don't extend equipment to get that extra day drying. And I know people out there are telling me, oh, you're foolish. You're throwing money away. You're right. I am. I'm throwing money away on this job, but I'm making it up tenfold because I'm getting referrals, and I got people singing our praises to their friends, their neighbors, their coworkers, their adjusters, and that's giving us the opportunity to get more and more work on a steady basis. Don't be short-sighted. Don't be penny wise and dollar foolish. And that all goes with being honest. Don't run into the example where you're loading up equipment in a house and that house has 100 amp service, and someone like me comes in and does a peer eval, or they do a third-party review, and I can tell right off the bat, there's no way that house is running that equipment. It's not humanly possible because you're calling for more voltage than that house can offer. We walk in houses and we see equipment stacked up in a corner of a room, and then I look at the bill and they're billing for that equipment. Just because you bring it in doesn't mean you bill for it. However, what you are using, you're entitled to get paid for. So there's plus and minuses to everything. Be cognizant of what's going on. Know your environment, know your customer, and know what your job is. That's the easiest way to do it. When you're setting up containment, containment has numerous purposes. Number one, you're containing to prevent cross-contamination. Cat 3 losses, mold jobs. You're protecting the environment outside of the workspace. Now, does that mean that you can overscope and set up containment through an entire home and create a containment tunnel to bring debris out? Yeah, not really. What that means is if you're in a single room and there's a mold job going on, bag your debris. HEPA-vac the outside of the bag. Bill for it. Photo it. Prove what you're doing. And then bring the stuff outside to a receptacle. It has to make sense. Too many of you guys are just embellishing the process of remediation. And what you're doing is you're hurting the industry. You're hurting the homeowner. You're causing problems due to greed. Don't be greedy. Do what has to be done and let it get done the right way. The second thing that you're doing is you set up containment for dust control. Dust control is valid. All right. Again, according to OSHA, when you're cutting surfaces, you should be using a HEPA vac. That's for the protection of your workers and to provide quality air environment. So, photo the HEPA vac, bill for the HEPA vac. It's a federal guideline you're entitled to. On the flip side, don't bill for it if you're not doing it. And don't bill for something you don't have photos of. Again, don't overscope and undercommit. All right. Sizing and pricing when it comes to equipment. If your particular area calls for 160 pints per day of dehumidification, it doesn't matter how you get there. The goal is 160 pints per day. Now, whether you're running an extra large dehumidifier, whether you're running two larges that provide 80 pints per day at AHAM, no one has the right to tell you you've set up the wrong type of equipment. You need to be within the parameters of efficient drying. As long as you can provide documentation that you're within the parameters, they have to pay it. It's a reasonable cost. All right. We run up on this quite often where, some carriers will tell us, well, you should have used one bigger DU. Well, nowhere in the S500 does it state we have to use a particular type of dehumidifier, a particular brand. It clearly states what we should be at during AHAM for proper drying. So again, be considerate. Know what your equipment is capable of. Know what the guidelines state. Know what you're talking about. All right? Photo document everything. And I say this for a few reasons. Number one, when you pull up to a home, get a risk photo. A risk photo is the front of the home, hopefully showing the address and the overall outside of the house. Make sure you photograph the cause of loss. Whether it's a fire, where did the fire originate, burst pipe, broken pipe, overflowed toilet, whatever. Make sure you capture the cause of loss and make sure you capture the environment where affected materials originated from the cause of loss. If it's an overflowed toilet, it's not just the toilet. It's the tile, it's the drywall, it's the subfloor, it's the room underneath. Wherever that affected material has traveled to, photograph it, log it, label it. Make sure there's no question in anyone's mind why you did what you did. When you're scoping a room, get overall photos. Don't just photo what's damaged. Photo everything in a room. Photo the floor, photo scratches, photo damages of unrelated to the loss. What that does is that protects you on the back end. If we walk into a home and we see that there's a scratch on the floor, we get a picture of it. After we put down our floor protection, we can't be accused of damaging that because we have photos completely unrelated to anything we've done and unrelated to the loss at hand that shows a pre-existing condition. You're covering yourself, you're protecting yourself, and you're remaining honest with your customer. Make sure your photos have timestamps. Make sure you label your photos so whoever's looking at them sees what, or has a description of what they're looking at. Don't leave anything up to interpretation. That's what we're trying to say. Make everything black and white. This is a photo. This is what it is. This is the description. I got to tell you, a big pet peeve of mine is I've been watching videos on YouTube of certain contractors, certain restoration companies who are unethical to say the least. They're coming in, and the bottom line is make as much money, bill as much as you can. Uh, it's just not right. All right. It doesn't matter where you live, what you drive. That doesn't determine our price lists. All right. Uh, you don't come in on a clean water loss and automatically say it's Cat 3 because I could bill Cat 3 prices. Uh, it's unfair. It's insurance fraud. It's wrong. You wouldn't want someone doing it to you. So why would you in turn feel it's okay to do that to someone else? Uh, some contractors turn down the smaller jobs. Uh, I got to be honest. Been in this industry a long time. We have come across people who are underinsured. We've come across people who don't have the finances to properly repair. And you know what? Have a heart. Work with these people. We do. And at the end of the day, we get a thank you card. We get referrals. We get notes sent to the adjusters. Uh, it's all about taking care of people. And if you do the right thing for the right reasons, and you don't scam people, and you don't overscope, and you don't overbill, and you don't do unnecessary things, it comes back. All right. And it comes back in the ways of referrals and positive reviews. And that's what helps your business grow. All right. It's not, everything is not about the bottom line. It's not always about how much you make on every job. Have a heart. Be a human being. Have a little care for people. Uh, that pretty much sums it up. Uh, Stay tuned, and I'll see you on the next one.